Well, kids, welcome to another episode of Rimshots with Sean, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk, which is new to Eastlink TV. We're excited about that. And I'm here with Dave Roberts. You know Dave from Blueberry Grunt, Titan, The Trees, and Trunk 7. And we're going to talk about that quite a bit. Dave, welcome.
How are you?
Good, good. I remember talking to you. It was probably right around the time everything shut down, and you had talked about the festival and you had momentum and then it kind of stopped. Do you feel like you're getting that momentum back now?
Well, last year was a good start for us, definitely. Back in after everything, and we had a move. We also moved geographically too. We were originally in Musquodoboit Harbor, and we moved to Porter's Lake, and that move proved to be good for us. It may not be the move that we wanted in everyone's hearts, because we do like servicing the Eastern Shore, and the further east we get, the better, the happier we are. But we thought we'd try Porter's Lake. It's a bigger population area and a little closer to the city.
Right.
So and it worked last year. It worked great. And so we're doing it again. And there you have it. It's in Porter's Lake, just beside the Superstore.
So one of the things that I found through Barstools and stuff, you start off, I guess, humbly, and if you have any success, it grows, and you get a pocket of people that like the growth and kind of jump on. Then you get another group of people, and maybe the ones that were there before everything started, and some of them feel a little miffed. Are you kind of going through a little bit of that growing pain with the move, or are people kind of embracing
Yeah,
it?
you're bang on there. It's like any, we're talking about a music festival, or you're talking about artists, and so, but that's business, right? You can't keep everybody happy. You never will. But like I said, we're pleased. We're pleased with the move. It's going to work well for us. And for as far as next year is concerned, I'm not sure. We'll see how things go this year and take it from there. But we sure got a lot of support this past summer, though.
That's so. Any undertaking like that, obviously, there's more than you probably have a team of people. So, what's it take? What's your firepower to run this thing in terms of volunteers and people that are there?
We have between 35 and 40 volunteers, and they work hard, and they're all well, you know what it's like in a rural area. It's just so many people from all the communities come together to put things together, because we don't always, and that's one of the reasons that we put this festival on. You don't always get all of the niceties that come with living in the core of the city, and so we're focused on putting on good events out here, not just this one, but we help in other ones too. But you get a great group of volunteers because they're totally invested in it, right? They want it to go well in their community. So we got a great volunteer base. We have our committee. We lost a couple committee members this year, and that's you and I. We haven't had our big hockey talk,
No.
but we're going to.
Yeah.
We're going to.
Yes, we will.
And there will be liquids involved.
Yes.
So, but in any case, but you can't keep everybody. So we're down to 7 committee members there right now. So, but it's a great base, great group of people from different walks of life. So yeah, it takes a lot to put on a festival, a couple of days. You know that.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's like, and like it to this, Dave. I mean, you still play with Blueberry Grunt, and you've done shows where somebody might go, "Why is your price this?" Well, the price is that because it's not about that 2 hours; it's about all the time it took to get to that 2 hours, right?
Oh, don't. We're not going there today either.
No.
It'll require some drinking for that as well,
Well,
to talk about the music industry and how it's working right now. That's a big one.
it is. I tell you, a friend of mine. She had a note from somebody who she did pictures for at a wedding, and they got divorced and they wanted a refund. So that's a new thing now, right? Yeah, but we won't tackle that. So when everything was shut down, I was trying to get HRM to do some things. I was trying to get them to meet with some people, and I talked to city council, and one person that was super helpful, and he's not even my counselor, was David Hensby. the first thing he said is, "I'm going to hook you up with Dave." And I said, "Well, actually, I've known Dave for years and whatever." But talk about his support for this event, because he seems like he's all in, and I find most counselors are kind of there for the photo op sometimes, right?
Dave is there for the getting dirty, down and dirty, for the in the preparations. We have a couple. We have a number of meetings throughout the year, and Dave is always beautiful in those meetings. A lot of suggestions. We don't take all the suggestions,
Yeah.
but a lot of them are fabulous, and he's right there till the bitter end there. And in fact, sometimes he's there late at night with us.
Well, and I mean, and that's great because I
Big
mean,
love.
back to the hockey thing again, and you know, if there's a hockey event going on here, it just seems like they're all in, right? But anything music related, it's kind of, they were talking about cutting funding to the arts, and there was a little sort of thing, and all of a sudden the funding is there. So to have that support from that level probably makes life a little bit easier for permits and things like that. Is that a fair statement?
It is, and one of the things that did change is that we moved from city property in Muscatine Harbor to private property owned by the folks at the superstore there, and so there's less hoops and things we have to jump through to get what we need, but we still get great support, starting with David from the city. All the folks in the city. Vince Andrew Cox has been great to us, and other members there from that area. We get one thing. We also get great federal support too, through grants and pretty much anything that we need. So they're great. Those all levels of government have been helping us, and you need it. Without that, you can't have it. And I agree with you. You're absolutely right. Like sports events, which you and I and many people those are dear to our hearts. But there's the arts industry in general takes a back seat to most things. When you find somebody that's willing to invest in that kind of thing, like we're talking about David Hensby. David loves sports. He's a big sports guy, but he does a lot of work for a number of different things because he understands the value to the communities.
Well, and again, stuff like that, especially to a community out there. I mean, HRM, people don't understand how vast HRM is. I mean, like it's literally the size of PEI. And to go from one end to the other, people don't get it. We're gonna take our first break because now that we're on TV, we actually got to pay some bills here, so we got to do this. So we're gonna be back after this with Mr. Dave Roberts. Folks, welcome back. Rimshots with Sean, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk. Mr. Dave Roberts here. We're talking Trunk 7. I love that logo, man. Like, you show up and some people go like, you're promoting yourself. Well, you gotta promote yourself. You gotta be proud of what you do. Who did your logo and who did your swag?
We've had a number of different companies, but there's a local artist out here that did our logo, and he did a great job with the logo here. And we use it quite extensively. We always do, and we always want to put that out there and push it. We got a lot of different people working for us that are help different things.
Well, I mean, and again, that's important. I mean, Barstools wouldn't exist without, Jason McCorson, who does my editing, and Lisa Davis that does my moderation, and Jeff McPherson that puts some stuff on there. So I know the value, and I know what volunteers bring to the table. I know what Trunk 7 means, but for the person that's maybe out there that doesn't know what Trunk 7 means, why don't you explain it to them?
Trunk 7 is a music festival that we put on out here, and it means a lot to all the communities out here. There's music, there's part of our culture is involved in that. We dig into a whole different genres of music. If I had my druthers, I'd have a big rock weekend and stuff like that. But we put a lot into different diversifying, and we've had all kinds of different acts. We focus on last year we had I had a Nova Scotia Nova Scotia women's songwriter stage. I want to get that right, not circle, although they are songwriter circles, but songwriter stage we call it. And we had some fabulous people in there, Jen Grant and Lindsay Meisner and Brooklyn Blackmore, and it was great. It was really good. But we've had a lot of different acts in. We don't focus on the rock. We have different acts, and my favorite, my new favorite Nova Scotia rock band is Andre Petitpas and the Giants. Love them. I love those guys, and they
Mhm.
great tunes, great act, great live, really good live. We've had Renee Smith has been out playing, her one of a kind R&B, going full tilt. Loved it, love it. T. Thomason, we've had out there. Hillsburn is a great act we've had. Back to the rock, you get a little Christine Campbell going, and I love her and their tunes. They're great. We've had Mike Trask. He's from Chesapeake, lives in I think he's back in Halifax. He was in New Brunswick, back in Halifax. Town Heroes we've had out here. Villages, kind of I don't know if you've heard Villages. They're fabulous. Great,
Yep.
great. Andrew Hunter with his the Feel Good song there, and so we've had a ton of stuff. And this year's no different. This year's no different. The only thing we've released this year is our Friday night. And if you don't mind, I'll tell you what it is. Friday night,
Please.
it's not complete, but it's we got Zephyr, local rock band just from the area. We got the Royal Volts, love the boys, the Shore Boys, and other Shore Boys, Stone Brother. Those guys were just Stone Brother actually just won the Surge 105 competition in there at Monty's, and Royal Volts were just a tad behind. So two shore bands in there doing really well, and of course Stanfields. It's our third time for the Stanfields, and it's can you book a better band? Can you book a better band for a music festival that brings more joy, more energy, and makes people drink more? No. The answer is no.
Well, I mean, as you're saying this, I'm thinking, and I don't want to, I don't want to come across as, but you have variety. Like, so I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, this might not be, I might not go to a club and see this particular act, but if I'm there and I'm seeing it, wow, you get to experience it. And I find sometimes when things like this, I won't name names, but CMAs or whatever, they seem to be laser focused on whatever the message is that they're trying to get out. And I think that you guys continue to strive to be A, inclusive, and B, broad.
Yeah, we have been. We've had all kinds of different acts out here. I mean, I want to tell you who I can tell you about for the Saturday night, the 22nd. It's July 21st and 22nd, by the way. July 22nd is the only ones I can really tell you about is we have Brooklyn Blackmore, fabulous country artist. I think her latest single was like number 4 in Canada.
Huh.
And certain charts there. We have Lindsay Meisner and Seventh Mystic. I don't know if you've caught those guys, but they're kind of an R&B throwback. Lindsay's got the Janis Joplin-ish stuff, and they go at it. So that's a lot of fun. And another thing I got to talk to you about, and it's another focus of ours. And that is we put on a big youth presentation. Now, there's lots of people in the committee. There's teachers. There's people. I'm not working at school anymore, but I was up at the school as well. And we work with a lot of kids in the area all over the shore. And we put on every year. We put on a youth presentation, and this year's going to be especially good on Saturday afternoon. And that's coordinated by one of our committee members, Nick Petitpas, my buddy at Marine Drive Talent is his company, and it's going to be great. So we try to get a lot in there, and we get in that case we're getting kids, some not as I think as young as like 7 or 8 up to like 15, 16, and they get a chance to get on a professional stage, feel what it sounds like and what it feels like, and get that opportunity. So we're proud of all these things, that we can bring a lot of different choices for people. And I don't want to hammer it down people's throats because You could probably put on a country festival, and everybody would be happy with a country festival. But we prefer to. Our mandate is to get as many genres as we can in here, get people out, expose them to a whole pile of different artists. We try to focus on artists that are doing their own material, but not all. And it's been working well for us. People really enjoy it. And as you said, and that's what you were alluding to, is that when you get people there, they're kind of, I don't know if I want to, I don't know, that's style of music. I don't know. And you have people leaving that night going, you know what? I wasn't sure, but that was great. Really like that artist, and not really my style, but it's like anything. When you see, if you have a good act and it's playing live and the tunes are good, that's what I always say. I'm not a big country music fan, but I sure appreciate people that are good at what they do, and songs that are good. They move you, and it doesn't matter what style of music it is. If it's a great tune, all you got to do is listen to it, and you go, yeah, that's the deal right there.
It's a vibe. Hold that thought. We're going to come back and have our final chat with Dave Roberts after this. Well, folks, we are back with Dave Roberts on Rimshots with Sean, talking Trunk 7. You mentioned something, and I want to share with you. So there was a legendary show that I always hear about that Titan did way back in the day at Prince Andrew High School. And my band actually did a show there last weekend. We did it for, it was a fundraiser for a young lady that's a current student. We were able to get two teachers who were instrumental when I was going to that school and actually getting students involved. It was so cool to see them. They went up, they did a set. And at the end of it, it was just like, I'm in that room. It was the first time since I was in high school that I played it. There's these two teachers, and I'm sitting there going, if it wasn't for those two guys, I probably would have been a Walmart greeter, because, thank God they got me involved and interested in music, and away I went. You got to feel like maybe that's happening with some of these kids when you guys are doing this.
Well, we like to think that is, but isn't that fabulous? Because that's the part of when you look back on your school, you probably don't remember Law 232 in high school. Probably don't remember a damn thing from that, but you do remember that teacher. And those times that you used to go in his classroom and he put on a little play, or you talk about, even some kids might be musicians, might not be, might just be a gathering area to talk music or to talk something different. And those are the things that's your best education right there. For
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's another funny story. So Sean Kilbride's an alumni there, and I had asked Sean to do a video, and he goes, well, I don't feel comfortable because I didn't participate that much. And I said, well, I want to tell you a story. The guidance counselor there, every time I get this interested in school, would reference you and say that, you were doing bad. Then all of a sudden she got you interested in music. He starts laughing. He goes, I quit twice. I don't know what the heck she was talking about. And I'm sitting there going, my high school career was precipitated on a lie. But I hung around to get through it, right?
Oh, dear. I've been watching your videos, by the way. It looked like a great event.
It was fun, and it was a lot of work, but I'm glad I did it. I can't say that I had to have the same amount of stress that you would have putting an event on, because you guys probably, you put the event on, take a week or so off, then you're right back at it. It's almost like a hockey tournament. This was something that we planned in about 3 weeks, but it was, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about people, and I think that's a win in itself.
Yep. Yeah, it was great. It looked great. You did, you played "Turn Me Loose," and I got feelings of like, oh my God, 1978, 79, or 80, whenever that was.
Well, thank you for that. Because the thing about that band that we kind of wanted to do was not do the Halifax playbook, if you will, and kind of making an event band, and like Blueberry Grunt does that. You guys aren't playing as much as you used to, so when you guys come out, it's an event, right? It's like, oh my God, Blueberry Grunt's playing. And that's kind of what we wanted to do. It's fun playing the Heave-Aways and all that stuff, but when you're busting out 7 Styx tunes, that's pretty fun too, right?
I saw that too, and man, big kudos to you guys. But you got the band to do it. you got the pipes to do it, and you got the band to do it.
Well, we're trying to bring the sexy Titan back in some sort of way, right? So it's like, so anyway, um, so now you guys pre-saw this event when you were out there. How do you guys handle your
Ticket
sales
Pro.
and what? Okay,
Ticket Pro. It's actually it's not set up. I'm just right in the middle here this week. This week and next week it will be set up. Some couple people called me like they don't want to. I said, well, some usually have tickets at the door. I said, nah, I don't want to. I'm not chancing it.
yeah.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to wait a week or so. So it will be on Ticket Pro where you can buy them at the door, and a few of the local businesses will be selling them as well.
So that's cool. And out at the Taylor Timber Mart out there, there's the big LED message board. I actually helped them install that at one point in time. So if they're really big on supporting stuff, I'm sure you've talked to them about putting that on that billboard, have you?
I'm going over there to talk to them before we get going there. Definitely. I
Yeah,
know some folks over there too.
yeah, it's a
We're
good
gonna
spot.
have, oh, that reminds me, I want to get this in, and I totally slipped my mind. I forgot something. Isn't that strange? I want to say that we were talking about Friday and that the Stanfields are headlining. We do have a headliner for Saturday that I cannot tell you about yet, but that'll be up soon. But the stands are being sponsors. They have an artist sponsorship, and it's from Shorewater Septic Diagnostics and Design and Freedom Self Storage. They have stepped up in a big way because they want to really be part of it, and they want to be able to come in and say, the Stanfields are here because we stepped up, and so I want to thank them.
And that support is so important. I mean, you've worked minor hockey, I've worked minor hockey in tournaments, and kids being able to get name bars, and that's so important to run anything. And those folks deserve an awful lot of credit, because I was at a pizza shop a couple of weeks ago, and the guy's like, I really haven't even recovered from what happened, but you know what? I have to keep sponsoring these kids because he felt it's an important thing to do. So I think that's very cool.
Yeah, it is. No question.
So you're I don't know if you can give out this Colonel's 11 herbs and spices here, but what are people going to pay to get in your festival? Because I know it's reasonable.
It is reasonable. It's really reasonable. It's going to be $30 a night and $50 for the whole weekend. Get you in the whole weekend. We got all kinds of food over there. The Porter's Lake Pub runs our bar, and they got all kinds. They got local beers and local craft beers as well as the old ones. Get yourself an old ones or whatever you want to get.
Well, and you and I are going to meet at the
they're-
Porter's Lake Pub, right? Because they get the best chicken sandwich I think I've ever had.
They got lots of the best stuff in the Porter's Lake Pub. Brent has got it going really, really good. So,
Yes, sir.
So we want to thank them for helping us for that, and they're going to be bringing up their food. So their food kind of they got runners going back and forth bringing out food as well. So it's
That's awesome.
You're going to need to come out if you're not busy.
Well, and so I do. I want to end with this because it's like, sometimes you put on shows and it's really funny how you'll see somebody. Yeah, I'm going to see Springsteen in Boston, and they're spending all this money, or they're going to Guns N' Roses in Moncton. But then they go to you and they say, "Oh, hey man, can you leave my name at the door for this local festival?" Which infuriates me. I do want to go. I want to support it. I want to do some stuff on it. So I'll definitely be there.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Totally.
There's nothing worse pay. If
right.
Unless if you're in dire straits and you're not doing that well, then yeah, okay, you can take a favor from somebody. But if you can afford to put in $30 or $10 to go see somebody at Monty's or whatever, then you should do that. It's important.
I agree. Right? Last thing. Where are they going to find out about the festival, Dave?
Sorry?
Where are they going to find out about the festival?
It's on our website, which is just trunk7musicfestival.com. We got Facebook. We got Instagram. I don't do social media. I'm absolutely horrifically terrible at it.
You get the secret guy though. We know who you are on social media, but we won't reveal that today.
We got people. we got people that are doing all that stuff. So we get and Twitter and and we have a lot of surprises this year with because we got somebody that knows what they're doing it well. We're going to have all kinds of giveaways and stuff like that. So that's where you can find us: Facebook, our website.
Fantastic, brother. Thanks for doing this. And you guys are going to want to get out to this. I'm going to get there because I think I'm off that weekend, so I'm looking forward to it.
We nearly had an agreement with the gang there, but it was close. Next year we're going to get you guys in there.
Oh yeah, well next year
Because we got Michelle and we got Michelle from who's living in Ches. She lives in Chesapeake.
Not anymore. She lives in Dartmouth, but she'll have her album out by then.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she'll have her album out by then, so that'll be good.
Oh, that's
Listen,
even
man,
better.
I want to thank you for doing this, and keep me posted on how everything's going with it.
I will, and we need to get together.
We will. We'll talk about that when I hit. As soon as I hit stop here, we'll make that happen.
Done.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.